All right, let's connect today, guys. February 23rd, 2025. Coming at you for the live stream for the next hour. So hopefully you're doing well. You're staying warm, staying happy, staying motivated, inspired, all those good things, to keep going in life. Because, sometimes the life can get you down a little bit on there as well. So, I'm One Eye Bry, also known as PT. Don't know if I'm winking or blinking, but I'm definitely thinking about the different shows that we're watching. The Walking Dead, of course, but that's probably not coming back till early as April or May. Watching Reacher. That's the thumbnail that is there. If you haven't seen Reacher on Amazon Prime yet, it's the third season, which is pretty good. We watched the first 3 episodes that dropped this week. Again, I'm a 1 episode a day kind of guy. So hopefully that's you're checking that out because it's worth it. It's a book series by Lee Child is the author, and Alan Ritchson plays Reacher, and he's pretty awesome in it. Like, he's got that dry wit about him that was pretty entertaining, and it's an action comedy, this, that kind of show, and it just works. I've never read the books, and I've actually never read a book and watched it turn into a movie. Like, I never read Game of Thrones or Harry Potter or anything else that's out. But hopefully you're staying well in this crazy world that we call 2025 right now. It's February 23rd as we're winding down. Next weekend will be March. And I know that Dark Winds comes back on March 9th, I believe, which is good. 1923 came back today on Paramount Plus. And haven't seen it yet. I'll probably watch it later today or tomorrow. And we're still watching Billions. I think we have 1 episode left of the first season, or we finished it. I can't make sure. And so it's Billions, Reacher, 1923. We finished up Cobra Kai. That was okay. I mean, it took all this nonsense of certain seasons to build up to the final thing that we were kind of expecting, because it's called Cobra Kai, right? It's not called Daniel LaRusso or Mr. Miyagi or Miyagi-Do or whatever. So Cobra Kai, I don't want to give anything away, but it kind of wraps up like it should be. It was kind of the karate soap opera feel-good story that came out of nowhere. And Johnny Lawrence was by far the best character in that universe. And it was pretty awesome to see that character and just the world that we knew and loved. And I would love that to happen in more ways than one, because it's just a cool thing to see different stuff continue on in certain universes. Like, Karate Kid is 40 years old. Well, 40 plus years now. I think it's 40, coming up on 41 years old. And they started a show from it. And I would love for them to do continuation on certain things. Like, I've said it time and time again, I really think they should do Days of Thunder 2 because of the success of Maverick, Top Gun. That was an 80s movie that came back so far down the road. Let's do it. Keep the ball rolling. Days of Thunder. I think Days of Thunder is probably one of the best, if not the best, racing NASCAR movies around. I don't know, Ricky Bobby and whatever else. There's not really that. Cars, I was talking to my student about things, and he actually went to the Daytona 500 the last weekend, and he fell in love with NASCAR, and he said it's nothing like being there, and it's pretty awesome, even though the rain delay messed things up. And he said it was, a really good time. I've never been to a NASCAR race or anything like that, but people love it. F1 is supposed to be the biggest thing they got going now, and certain things, they're trying to push the envelope with certain things, whether it's IndyCar, NASCAR, F1, whatever it is. If that's not your thing, that's okay too. There's enough entertainment dollars that's out there. Really no news about The Walking Dead. I know they're going to have a trailer coming out pretty soon for Dead City, so we'll probably get the date in that trailer. I don't believe it came out already. It might have, but I don't know. But it's one of those things that I just would like to know the date, but I'm still guessing that. So if Dark Winds comes out on March 9th, and also Daredevil comes out on March 4th on Disney Plus, which looks really good. And hopefully I get to see John Bernthal in that. But so if we got the 9th for Dark Winds, and I don't know how many episodes it is, but let's just say you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If it's 6 episodes, that'll be done on April 13th. So we could get, if it's 8 episodes, it's the 27th. But I just don't know how many episodes Dark Winds would be. So if it's done there, then most likely Dead City will be the next show to come out on the 20th or 27th. And it would probably be May 4th. But let's just get the trailer and give us a date. And then we'll know. You know, we don't have to speculate and wonder about things on there. And I know I just believe somebody posted on Facebook that Andrew Lincoln is going to be in a new series and a new show. So he didn't stop acting by any means. Like he did a episode of this and of that and here, and then did The Ones Who Live, 6 episodes there. And so he's definitely not done acting. His kids are older, I'm guessing. So will we ever see Rick again in the Walking Dead universe? I doubt it, personally. If we do, it's probably a small cameo, a small ending of the Daryl show. Which last time I heard is the Daryl show was done filming for season 3. There was different news about Dead City coming out about directors. Michael Strabismus or whatever is doing Strepozimus or whatever his name is. I don't even know how to say his last name. But he should be out. He should be directing a good amount of the episodes. And I think there's 8 episodes in season 2 of Dead City. So that's different than 6. So they stepped their game up. Kim Coates is going to be in a good amount of episodes. I don't know if it's 5 or 6 episodes. Lauren Cohan directed 1 episode this season. So she's doing some producing, acting, and directing, which is awesome. And I think that's a great way to go, especially, you know, that's what Sylvester Stallone really became, just way more than people realize. They just see him as an actor. But he does a lot of stuff like directing and producing and acting and a little bit of writing and a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And, you know, if you know anything of the story of Rocky, whether you like Sylvester Stallone or not, I think you got to respect him. Stallone's got a lot in the tank and is pretty amazing. And I just love people for their work ethic, you know, how hard they're working, and nothing but respect for people that are trying to do something. It's definitely harder than people think to be, you know, time and time again, decades long. Sylvester Stallone has been acting for a long time, just like Schwarzenegger and a lot of people. And to still be able to do it and be relevant in your 60s and 70s, and it's just amazing. So, I mean, after a while, it's kind of like enough already. Like, you have to know when to throw in the towel. Yeah, no. So I got something last week which I thought was really weird, and so I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know what's going on with any of that stuff. So, you know, it was really weird with the person that was in here talking about a review and a this, and I got a link and a something, and it's just weird, right? So, I mean, I don't want anything to do with that, and I don't know what's trying to be pulled there. It's just some weird, shady stuff, and if you're trying to put something like that with that person, then, you know the history of stuff there, and it's just nonsense. So if anything like that acts up, people are getting, you know, banned and blocked for nonsense, because it's just weird, and I just don't want anything to do that. Also, the other thing is that I'm going to be taking a break from live streams for a little bit. I got some stuff going on, and to really just do a live stream on Sundays is probably going to be a little much for the next time being. And so I don't know when I'll be back doing live streams, but I will definitely post on YouTube, because I've always been one of those people to post stuff on YouTube or social media and everything, or reach out to friends and to text, because it takes seconds of our day to post something, you know, and it's just something that is, you know, something that's easy to do, to reach out and you've been thinking about someone on there. And it's just a nice gesture. It's a nice thing to get a text, or I just like the idea of just being a part of something and reaching out to people, because, times are tough for a lot of people. And, being a therapist, I see a lot of people, and a lot of them that we see in Florida, especially, they're retirees. And, a lot of people are just alone, and it's kind of sad. So coming to therapy, hopefully they have a good time, and we get to talk with them and do some exercise and, be social as well. And it's a nice thing. Socialness is an important part of our life. It's, proven time and time again in different studies and different things that talk about happiness. And happiness is something that is different for everybody. And when you get different stages of life, happiness makes a lot, a different view. What is happiness when you're in your teens, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 100 years old? It could be as simple as seeing someone you haven't seen in a while, or talking with them, reaching out to someone. And it's a simple thing, hey man, how you doing? Hey mom, how are you? Hey so-and-so, how are you? What's going on? Hopefully you're doing well. And sometimes people will respond and sometimes they won't. But I think just reaching out and being there for people just shows like this world's okay, And all the nonsense on social media and this and YouTube channels and whatever, it's all nonsense. You get to see all this stuff, and it's just total crap. And I don't know, this last week was just weird, man. I'm like, I want to take a break, step away from stuff and whatever. But writing the book series going strong. I'm on chapter 14. I finished chapter 13 this morning. And that's another thing that will open up if I dedicate the hour every Sunday, or for the next couple Sundays, to writing the book series, whether it be the whole hour or whatever. You can get a lot done in an hour, right? Like if you there's 24 hours in a day, right? And you sleep for, just say, 8 hours, and you're eating and going to the bathroom and working out and watching TV and, doing laundry or cleaning something or traveling or going to work or whatever you're doing. There's still a good amount of time in the day, but it's being able to break it up and having the time devoted toward that. Like working out, you should be able to work out 20 minutes, 30 minutes a day in a 24-hour window, whether it's in the morning or at night or whatever. My wife works out in the mornings. I work out after work. So she's before work, I'm after work. Whatever works for you. Or at home, doing some squats, doing some, calf raises, doing some butt kicks, doing some side kicks, doing whatever, just being active, walking, getting in the pool, riding a bike, going for a walk, playing pickleball, something, standing more even, working on the balance. The simple principle, if you don't use it, you lose it. Mind, body, and soul. I say that to my patients all the time. And you have to work on it. And, my book series has come a long way. Some people like it. Some people hate it. Some people just think it's dumb. But people love to ridicule anything. People that don't have anything or do anything love to easily throw shade at someone that has worked hard at something and has tried to build something from the ground up. The people that hate on stuff like that, it's so funny. If someone who's ever working hard at something won't ever break someone down or talk smack on stuff and just be rude, disrespectful, inconsiderate, because they ain't got time for that. For someone who has all the time in the world and is just considered someone that has no ambition, sits at home and doesn't work, or has a basic part-time job and has more time on their hands, they're the people that complain about stuff over and over and over and over and over and over again. Like, yeah, stuff happens and you have the right to complain, but, why would you do that for someone who's trying to work hard and do something there? And you see that on YouTube over the years, and it's just funny. Like, it's just so stupid. Like, work hard at something and see how difficult it is to be good, to be decent at it even, right? Like, I'm not even that great of a writer, but I've improved and I've tried, and I have a formula that I think works. And, to be here for that too. And that's the same thing with anything. whether you were going to exercise or sing or dance or draw or do a martial art or whatever you like to do. But you're not going to be good at it right at the beginning. There's a whole concept called motor learning. Yeah, I hope Lindsay's all right. I haven't seen her for a little bit. Hopefully she's doing well. And she's one of our great moderators and very important for the channel. Just like everybody, all you guys here, taking the time to be here. I truly appreciate it. You know, and it is pretty awesome that people still have a community here. And that's what you try to build, try to work on it with everything. And, you know, we're an instant gratification society. And people can be working on something for years. And people don't get it, or they don't see it, or they don't have notoriety with it, or it doesn't build up. Like I don't even know some of the stuff that's, you know, like book series and stuff, or like stuff that's being done, like Reacher. Like I've never read any of the Reacher stuff, but it's on Amazon, and I would assume the show is making people buy the books. And I think Amazon is a great platform for that, because you can be like, if you want this, if you want to see what happens, buy this book. If you like this series, buy this book. If you want to do this, buy the book. And that's the only one I know of that's connected like that. I don't know. I mean, I guess I don't even know. Apple is like, what else is there? Like, what could you buy? Like, watch something and see how it is. And so hopefully take the time to do it right and just see what happens in life. That's all you can do. Deal with the cards you've been dealt, and hopefully you had a good hand. But you'll probably fold more than you'll win with. And that's a part of life. But that doesn't work for a lot of people in life. They want it done yesterday. They want to feel better yesterday. They want to feel younger. They want to feel stronger. They want to have more endurance, better balance, better stability, more money, more happiness. And I'm right there with them too, but we have to accept what we have. But yeah, there's a lot of good stuff coming back now. Tim, did you watch 1923? Because I haven't seen that episode yet. But if you watch 1923, you know it follows the Duttons from before, way before, the Yellowstone story. And you know, like I said, I recommend Reacher if you haven't seen it yet. But this is the third season. The first season draws you in. The second season is a little different. This season feels like a little more Reacher-esque, like the first season. But whenever there's like other people involved, I feel like Reacher is a lone wolf, a lone survivor, the lone military guy. And when he has other people helping him, which he needs, he's going to need that, especially with this story. And the people are okay. The fill-in characters for this are pretty good. Yeah, Tim says, yep, he watched it and was pleased. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, so please no spoilers. But I'm still waiting for Spencer. I doubt Spencer showed up in this episode in back home. I'm sure we see him, but I doubt Spencer made it back home to Yellowstone, Montana. So I doubt that. They're going to milk that, I feel, for like a couple episodes. I could be wrong, but he's by far the best part of the family that they need help to protect the ranch, and we'll have to see what happens. But it's a good time for shows to start coming back, you know, with Yellowstone, with that's done. But 1923, Reacher, you got Dark Winds coming back, and then it'll be Dead City. And then, I mean, there's going to be stuff added like all the time on the different shows, different spots, different things. And if you haven't seen Silo, I would recommend checking that out. And there's different shows. Like I haven't watched any of White Lotus yet, season 3. But I like to watch let it go a little bit, a couple weeks, and then watch it. Yeah, so I think I really hope 1923 to me was a big letdown the first season, because it was just kind of all over the place with who we were following, and Spencer was literally all over the place except being home, trying to make it back home. And I think when he gets back home eventually, because that would be pretty terrible if he never made it home, all that build up. because he'll have to do something. And because it's so lawless there too. Like they're showing up with, rifles and just mowing people down. And Montana is like the Wild West, man. It's crazy there. And so, at least in the show. And we'll have to see, whatever happens with it. But I think, I agree. The Spencer wife love story, trying to get home, bring her along. She just got kind of annoying, like too annoying. But Helen Mirren really made the show. She really carried it. And then stuff was happening. And then Braun from Game of Thrones, that actor was, a bad guy. And, stuff was happening and stuff. So stuff happened. It was just a little too discombobulated for me. So hopefully it gets together and we'll see, a little more everyone coming together with it too. And we'll have to see the connections that hopefully will be more and more connections with Yellowstone. And I guess they're going to be doing multiple seasons because at some point they really got a major connecting points with the Duttons that we know and love at some point, because that's what I love to see. Like I wish Fear the Walking Dead and The Ones Who Live and Tales of the Walking Dead and just The World Beyond had much more connecting points with the Walking Dead main series. Or because like Yellowstone was the main. So if you compare, Yellowstone is the main story, like The Walking Dead was the main story. But 1883 worked. It connected with the name and what they were trying to doing with the very, very, very beginning of that story of the Duttons. And it's a different tale of zombie apocalypse versus, the Wild West and expansion and building your ranch and life and having your history of your family. But the stuff that they tried to fill in with Fear the Walking Dead and World Beyond and stuff was like minimal. It was just very minimal of connecting with it until they were like, you know what? Nah, we're going to have him come over and connect. Because why would you have something that didn't connect? Like, we're going to have 1923, but you're going to follow a family that's not the Duttons. That would make no sense. That's what Fear the Walking Dead would do. That's what it felt like. Like, you know what? None of these people were connected with any sort of thing from the main show that you're watching. And it just didn't work. We want connections. We want callbacks. We want to have the connecting points that bring us more into this universe, not push us away. Oh, the other thing I want to talk about too, what just came to my mind was, I don't know if you want the spoiler, but potentially a spoiler that we're going to see in Dead City is that we're going to see that it's definitely something that we're going to have a character come back from The Walking Dead to connect with Negan. And I don't want to tell you guys if you don't want to know, but it should be a nice little callback, which they really did with Dead City, and I like the connections with Negan. Again, it's not Simon, but it's someone that connects with Negan. And so it should be a nice little connecting point again with Negan that worked just like Simon's callback. Yeah, so the fact that it would be on that person's Discord just shows that it's annoying. Like, what are you doing? Like, it's just one of those things where there's like a problem with me and a problem with my book series and a problem with life. And I'm like, that's just crazy. Like, I don't think about this person. I got enough going on. But that person thinks about me evidently, or the book series, or try to be slanderous or problems on there. It's like, come on, man. It's just nonsense. So it's like, what's going on there? Like, it makes no sense. It's just one of those things where, like, you gotta just let things go and move on with it. But there's some sort of problem there, and I don't care. Unless it gets kind of crazy and there's stuff that's being said or whatever, and then you get, the the fake accounts that come to my Instagram or hit me up on Facebook and stuff on there too, and their spam accounts, which happen time and time and time and time again. Just to show you that YouTube and social media and Discord or whatever, obviously, too, can be manipulated with stuff, which is not real life. You know, like a person can have 25 accounts. Just changing out emails, changing out different things like that, which is like total nonsense. But other than that, you know, when you're insecure with things in life, you do crazy things potentially, I guess. I don't know. But just being secure in yourself and your confidence and everything there too, you just keep it rolling. So, but, you know, that's life. That's going to be things. We're never going to get away from that. We're never going to truly get away. And the bigger you get, the more people that come at you. It just happens. If you're a lower person on social media or in the world of whatever, you don't have enough notoriety, or your reach doesn't go out far enough. But, you know, like I said, I got enough on my plate being with day-to-day stuff. And I'm not here to put anyone down, but clearly someone is. And that just karma comes around. I believe firmly in karma. So keep it positive, keep it going, keep doing what you're doing, keep being a good person, and hopefully we'll be rewarded. Or just won't have that many bad things happen to you. You know, I guess this is another thing too. I guess that's a part of being rewarded. And just try to have a good time with life and keep it going day to day. And that's all I can recommend too, you know. It's all about doing things and having stuff going up. And hopefully, like I said before, and I've said it for the past couple live streams, whatever you want to do in life, you know, if you want to travel, if you want to retire early, if you want to go to places, if you want to buy things, if you want to buy a house or go to college or get an education or start a job or start a business or start this or start that. I mean, do your homework and do it right. But just do it and try to do it, you know, like be proactive and make things happen. But do it in a way that you're comfortable, confident. And there's a thing where I learned in college throughout my years is that stuff's going to come up and you're not going to know everything. If you know everything in life, if you feel like you know everything, that's the bigger thing. If you feel like you know everything in life, then that's just naive, because no one does. I mean, it takes computers and AI and quantum whatever computing that they're doing now to be able to do all that. Not people. Like, people don't know everything. They think they do. And that just shows, like, ego. And it's just not a good way to think about it. And that's usually, like, immature. When we're younger, we think we know everything. And then you realize, well, hopefully you realize, when you get older, there's a lot to learn. Let me be open to it. If you're so closed-minded in life, that I've learned, is like, it's not a good way to do that way. Like when I was younger, and I told you my parents were divorced, and so I lived with my dad. And there was times where we would argue, and we would fight, and we would add whatever, because my dad had his way, and I had my way, and I thought I knew everything because I was a stupid teenager, like we all were. Like, I know what I'm doing. And in some ways I did. In a lot of ways I didn't, you know. And it's just a thing that we learn later on in life, and went away to college. And when I came home, I appreciated things more because I didn't have it all the time. I didn't have someone doing the laundry or cooking and cleaning for me and taking care of things that I had to do when I went away. And that's a great thing to learn. You will never truly value something in life as much until it goes away. Like, you will never value the most basic of things in life until you can't do them. It's just eye-opening sometimes when you're like, man, I had a good relationship and I gave it away because I thought there was better things out there for me. I thought the grass was greener over there, so I left this grass and I took that grass. And then by that time I lost that grass and I lost that. You do everything and you think about it, bigger and better things are upon it, but not always. And maybe they are. But you have to live and learn through that. Sometimes lessons are learned the hard way. I know they are for me, and they have been for me. And so I learn from them. I move on from it. And there too. Like yesterday, for example, I've learned in my life, when you go to get an oil change, they want to sell you everything under the sun. So I went to a local oil change place, and it's one of those quick places where you stay in your car. And I just wanted to get an oil change because it came up on my dashboard that I needed to have maintenance done on my car. And it was just for the oil change. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to get this done Saturday, go over there. And they go, yep, oil change, this and that. How are your fluids? How's this? How's that? How's your things? And I was like, yep, how's your indoor cabin air filter, the one inside your car? And the guy was like, he's like, opened the car door and took the stuff out of my glove box and took out the cabin air filter. And was like, yeah, this needs to be changed. Has it ever been changed? I'm like, not that I know of. And he's like, all right, well, we don't have it in stock. And the other guy says, yeah, we should have it in stock. And the guy's like, well, if we have it in stock, do you want to do it? And I'm like, how much is it? $50. I'm like, nah, I'll get you next time. I don't even know if that does anything. But I got the oil change. They talked about some other fluids and whatever, the filter and whatever. Did that. Put some air in the tires, did all that, was there. Quick, in and out really, really quick. About 10 minutes, maybe 15 at the most. But they took care of me. They gave me a bottle of water. They put in some washer fluid. They changed the oil, changed the filter, put some air in the tires. Do little things here, a little bit there, and it was good. But the cabin air filter was something I didn't want to do. So what I did is I went home and I was like, yeah, I really should change that out, but I don't want to pay $50 for it. So I went online, I put a search in, went on Amazon, and found the cabin air filter that would fit my car. And I got 2 air filters for $13. And I installed it myself. But I wouldn't have learned how to do that if I didn't watch the guy. And I opened up the thing and I just took out the stuff that was in there, took out the piece that had a latch, opened up the other piece that had a latch, took out the filter, threw out the old filter, put the filter in the case, put it back in, hatch, other latch, boom, put the stuff back in, done. Took a couple minutes because I didn't want to break the latches. I didn't know if it was there. And so I was like, boom, done. Awesome. So you can do stuff like that. It wasn't anything that was great, but you wouldn't know unless you saw that, experienced it, tried to do it too. Putting air in your tires, buying the stuff that goes into I say cigarette lighter, but I think it's a 12-volt thing. And because it's been cold in Florida, so my light's been on, and I'm doing that, so I put it back on. And I put some air in the tires because it was hot and cold, and I put that on it too. But I learned that I can do that. I would love to be able to change my oil, but I don't know what I would do with the oil after I took it out. How do you dispose of that, right? So I was like, I'm just going to go let them deal with that too. That's the bigger thing too. But you can do things that you never thought you could do, And yeah, so Hard Nexy says, the nice thing about YouTube are the people. Oh, he retracted the statement. But the other thing I like about YouTube is you can learn how to do so many things. There's definitely channels in there too, how to paint, how to fix something, how to install a outlet or whatever. You can learn so many things. And then I can teach other people. But I taught my dad, YouTube is a great source for anything you want to learn. They got a video on pretty much everything nowadays. But then use your judgment, use your critical thinking to say that makes sense, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, so Fear the Talking Bread, which is a great name, by the way. Drake is jealous because you're doing what he can't. There's even a thread saying your wife cheated on you and has proof. Of course, it's BS, but his minion lap it up. Yeah, exactly. So if there's a thread saying that, I guess that's a slanderous thing, right? Against me and my wife and whatever. And again, it's total nonsense. And the person not knowing me, not knowing my wife, not knowing anything, is just laughable, right? So, but that's what people do. And we'll see. If something gets bigger than it needs to be, then I might have to look into some things and see what's going to go there. But they do things to get a rise out of you. You know, they come in here and they post stuff, or they post stuff on there. And now they go through Discord, and it's like total nonsense. Like, going to come at me for whatever. And so, like, they don't have so much of a life going on that they wouldn't do that stuff. They wouldn't do anything that is like I don't care about them, or really anyone on YouTube that is doing anything enough to make videos about someone to do there. Unless someone came at me or said something or whatever, and then you have to put the thing out there to show what actually happened and build your case and show all that too, and then it gets kind of crazy. But that's what they want. They want views. They want clicks. That's what everybody is about right now. Views, clicks, clickbait, ads, this, that, to try and get people to... They're not knowing that these are people and there's a whole life about it. Like, and that's why I could see how people just stop being so involved with social media and everything on there too. So, but like I said before, I'm going to be taking a break from live streams for a little bit. And I'm sure I'll be back. This is not going to be the end. It's not going to be a thing where I'm going to never be back. But just for the time being, I'm going to take a little break. My wife's birthday is coming up. And so we'll be able to have a little, not vacation, but time together and everything. And just have a nice little, just enjoy each other's time. And so... I'll be back definitely for when Dead City comes back on TV, and I'm guessing, like I said, I'm guessing at earliest it's going to be late April, early May, and I have a golf trip coming up, so I have to prepare for that, and was doing some stuff, and I'm just out of shape in golf fitness wise, like my back and my arms hitting a lot of golf balls yesterday, and so. I had way more than hopefully a round of golf will be involved with. But I got to just build up the endurance and build up my muscles for it. So, and then be able to talk about little things in there, and maybe start doing only like a couple live streams a month or something, whatever. Because I don't want to get away from it. I still enjoy talking to you guys and being here, but just I know I gotta stretch it out. I gotta. Especially my lats on my left side, because I'm right-handed, so it's got to stretch out. And, just trying to have a little more stuff to go on in life. And, sometimes it's just a lot to go on. And, to take an extra hour, like I want to write the book series, continue that. Yeah. Tim says, what's he going to do for the hour on Sunday buried in snow right now? How much snow do you got, Tim? Because I know Diana's in Florida like myself, and a couple people are all over. Do you guys have snow where you're at? Do you got the snowfall currently snowing or from previous snowfall? Like my student, it's his last week this week coming up, and he's got to go back to Buffalo, New York, which I'm like, that's got to be brutal. To be in Florida for the past 2 months, to go back to Buffalo, which he showed me videos from his sister, and they got inches of snow, which is crazy, because I haven't really had to deal with snow in a long time. It's probably really been since 2006 since I've had to deal with snow. And yeah, South Jersey. You got snow there, Soul Life? What you got? Hard Mixie says 5 inches from last week is melting. And I've always thought about, why do people stay in places that have to deal with snow so much? Well, because it's your life. Like Tim, 6 storms in a row. Most have been 3 to 6, but wind chill for a month straight, so it's piled up. So yeah, the snow hasn't gone anywhere. So if you're getting 3 to 6 inches, so if you got 3 inches of snow and 6 storms of that, and the snow is minimally melted, it's going to pile up pretty darn good. So they have been predicting 12 to 16 inches. The weather man was very embarrassed. So Tim, you wouldn't come down to Florida and be a snowbird? You want to stay in Maine? Which I don't know if you've watched Reacher, but I don't know where it was filmed this third season, but it's supposed to be Maine, where some of this story takes place. So, but I said I'm a transplant from New Jersey to Florida, and just enjoying the snowless Florida and the warmer weather. And I love the weather where you don't have to run the air conditioning or the heat. Somewhere in between that. Like 65, 68 degrees, 70 degrees in the house, I think is like perfect. Like if you have a pants and a sweatshirt on and you're comfortable, or shorts and a t-shirt, or, that's good weather. Yeah, like for Florida too, it's been hot and cold. So like some of the weather, bugs, citrus plants, trees, plants, whatever too, Yeah, no, fear the talking to Brett. I'm not gonna stop doing it because of him. I'm just gonna take a little break from it. I'm like I said, my wife's birthday's coming up, so I won't be able to do a live stream for the next week, and then I'm gonna probably take another week and do write the book series a little bit more, because I'm on chapter 14 today, and probably go for that 18 chapters. So I want to be able to put a little more time in there. And so when the Walking Dead comes back, Dead City, we'll be back doing streams. We'll be talking about the episodes. We'll be talking about stuff. And who knows, if the trailer is good enough, I may be back doing a stream. Then I know not next Sunday, because I won't be able to do it next Sunday because of my wife's birthday and everything. So, but I just wanted to be transparent. I've always wanted to be transparent with you guys, and I've always wanted to be there for you guys and to know that you have the so the new book series is a continuation of Fight for Us. So it's the I haven't really come up with the exact title yet, because I'm deciding what I want to do, but Fight for Us is the original book series, and so I want to continue that on, and I have. So this book continues up with a time jump from the end of the last book, and don't worry, Fear the Talking Bread. I'm not going to quit, and I'm not going to let someone like that ever make me quit, because it's just stupid. Like, it's bigger than that, and it's always bothered me when people think they have to push people down or make people look bad for them to do better or get a rise or be better or whatever. Because it's just total nonsense where you can both succeed. There doesn't have to be competition for each other to say we can't have the same amount of subscribers. So it's not like you can only subscribe to one channel. You could subscribe to hundreds of channels, thousands of channels. You can subscribe to whatever. There's a bunch of people that could be subscribed to me and him and them and those people, and I hope people do, because it's a nice thing to have a difference of opinion, information, some things that I would miss and they would have, or I would make and they would miss, and whatever, It's just like, it's just immature and naive to think that way, and it just doesn't have to be. We can all succeed. There's enough resources for everybody. There's enough subscribers for everybody. There's enough content and stories and everything to talk about for everybody. Man, Hardnixie says, last electric bill was $500. Not running furnace is nice. Largest bills of the year cover January and February. Yeah, just like here in Florida, when it starts to warm up and be in the 80s and 90s or whatever consistently, you have to run the air conditioning all the time. So the air conditioning is running 24/7. I try to cut it down at night if we can. And it's definitely a thing where that's the biggest bills of the summer for us too. So yeah, exactly. Daredevil Born Again looks awesome. And I believe John Bernthal is going to be in that too. So I think the best Daredevil stories, whatever it was, season 2 of the Netflix show with the Punisher. And I think John Bernthal is a great Punisher. And I hope and believe that he's going to be back. And the villain of the Daredevil Reborn is Fisk. So we'll have to see, what goes down for that and setting things up. And, I don't know if you guys, I talked about it last live stream of Captain America, Brave New World. And it was okay. Like, it's not a great movie, but it's not terrible. I think it's, I don't know. I'd say it's better than Captain America, the first one. But not by much, just because the first Captain America is pretty bad. The first Thor is pretty bad. The second Thor is pretty bad. Like certain Marvel stuff is just not that great. And Captain America, Brave New World it's like a filler nonsense story that teases the Red Hulk. And he's barely in the movie. He's in it for like a couple things. And we'll probably have to see him again. But Harrison Ford is like so old that I don't know how that's going to work. I guess you could just do CGI of it. Because I don't know what's going to future Hulk be with Hulk and She-Hulk and Red Hulk and whatever Hulk and this Hulk and that Hulk and Baby Hulk and, I don't know. I don't know. What's Black Sails? Radium Raving Revenge. Watch Black Sails. You'll love it. What's Black Sails? Where's it at? And what's it about? And so, yeah, I'm not opposed to watch different stuff. That's for sure. It might be a little, time to check it out. But, yeah, hopefully you're doing well, guys. I, just trying to keep it going. And it's been a busy week, busy weekend. And it's good. Staying busy, staying active is a part of life. If you don't use it, you lose it. And I tell my patients that all the time. Simple activity every day, a couple times a day, whether it be some squats, whether it be some, ankle pumps, walking, marching, balancing, stepping, just standing there, trying to get your balance about you. And I don't know. Do you have Letterboxd? I don't know what Letterboxd is. It's on Netflix for that Black Sails. It's a prequel to the book Treasure Island about the pirates era. Oh, okay, so yeah, it's a pirate stuff. I guess it would make sense. Black Sails makes sense for the pirate stuff going on. And then hopefully, and also The Night Agent. If you haven't seen that, we finished that up. And Netflix is one of those things where they come out with some stuff, a lot of different stuff every month. I'll have to check to see what's going to be up on their Facebook page, but they have a thing where post out. And then also, The Last of Us Season 2 is April. What is that? I want to say, I guess the 13th, because if it's a Sunday show. So April 13th, which I'm hoping is awesome, but if you know anything about The Last of Us, the second game, we're going to have to see what they're going to do with that, because I know the word was that there's been word and talk about they want to do 4 seasons of Last of Us, I think, if I'm correct, but I could be wrong. But I don't know if they're going to bring another game into the story before the story starts. And it's just interesting to see what they're going to do with that story, because Last of Us is really good. I like the castings of it, and so that'll be here before you know it in April on there. Fear talking Brad. I wouldn't take anyone seriously who claims fair with you. Yeah, that's what was insinuated. But I think you should do a revisited Walking Dead top 10 moments or scenes. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind doing some more Walking Dead videos about some of the Walking Dead stuff on there. But yeah, if that dude is saying that doesn't make sense at all. So it's like the guy probably came up with an idea. It's like, look, what can we do to get viewers? And his stuff's, been what it is. We'll just leave it at that. But he's like, we're gonna have these two channels. And we're going to go after both people from the channels. And so we'll get people on each channel to watch these videos, regardless if there's nonsense at all, regardless of what it is. But that's what you're going to do. Let's go attack these two channels, which is like ridiculous, But yeah, it's hilarious. Good afternoon, Anissa. How we doing? Any other filming going on in Georgia? I definitely want to hear about the camp when you go in May, I believe it is, right? May? Which the camp has to be like the new convention stuff. Because that makes sense to be the new stuff. Because there is a following of people that want to meet some actors, and if they branch out with, Walking Dead, of course. But a lot of things film in Georgia. And I think you get people like from Cobra Kai, or like From, a couple people are there too. Emily Kinney. Yeah, Beth. So yeah, she's a pretty good singer. She sang on the Walker Stalker cruise. I don't know which one that was. Second or third one. And she did good. And I don't know what she's doing now. There's a lot of people on The Walking Dead. And so there's a lot of stuff going around with what people, and it's always like when I see somebody like, oh, there's so-and-so, or so like Sadiq is on Silo, and people are doing stuff there too. And you feel like it's good to see them. And the following of the people, you feel like, oh, that'll always be just like Charlie Hunnam will always be Jax Teller from Sons of Anarchy. No matter what he does, he'll be 85 years old. Like, there's Jax. But, it's always good to see actors getting different roles and different stuff. And, certain people like Andrew Lincoln will always be Rick Grimes for a lot of people. And no matter what he does, because people hold him near and dear in their heart. It's great. Yeah, I mean, I was up on the, more filming stuff in Georgia and everything. And my next trip that my wife and I want to go on is to Charleston, South Carolina. We want to drive there because we drove from our house in Florida to Savannah, and it was like 6 hours. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good, but it wasn't bad. I think a 6-hour drive is probably the limit that I'd really want to do in a radius of where it's at a time. And Charleston, I believe, is 8 hours. So, that's where, not bad. Maybe you can get up a little earlier and have some time for that and cut it down a little bit, but yeah, Radium. So what do you think is going to happen with From? I'm excited to see what's going to happen there, and I don't know what the word's going to be, if it's going to be the fourth and final season or where it goes. But I personally wouldn't mind if they wrapped it up in a fourth season, because I'm like, after a while, you try to figure stuff out, and then they have a line of dialogue, and you're like, yep, they're doing whatever they want whenever they want to do. They're, the king of the sandbox, and they can change things up whenever they want to do. There's a Nick and Norman's in Greenville, South Carolina. So is that like the third one they have now in Issa? Because I know the first one started in Sonoy. The next one was in Tennessee, I want to say. And now in South Carolina, which is pretty awesome. Yeah, Sophia says, it's so sad to see Ronnie leave YouTube and abandoning his comic, and Trev to effectively leave YouTube. If PT goes, I'll feel like an end of an era, as these three were the GOATs, all respected each other. Yeah, well, I'm sorry to see that, you know, like it's tough because when you have not a niche market, but a niche TV show and an area. And when you had, so with The Walking Dead, we had the comics to talk about, we had the show to talk about, the spinoffs to talk about, the merchandise to talk about, all the different things. And it's tough because, like, no one really wants to talk about stuff that don't get enough views like they had to have it. Fifth one, man, they're branching out. Sonoy, like it's Kentucky, Louisville, Chattanooga, and Greenville. Yeah, there you go. So that's cool. Yeah, so if you've never been to a Nick and Norman's, it's a group that owns them, and part of the owners are Norman Reedus and Greg Nicotero. Hence, Greg Nicotero is Nick, and Norman is Norman Reedus. So it's always cool. Like, I hope they do well still, and I hope that there is still a thing and a market for them. But you know, with Alexandria being gone and The Walking Dead being gone, how busy is Sonoy? I personally would love to go back and see Sonoy. And if I ever go back to Georgia, which at some point I know I will, or the plan is to at least, that I hope that it still has the luster that it was when I was there in the heyday of The Walking Dead. Because I was there for the first time in season 6 of The Walking Dead. And I was like, man, this is cool. This is really cool to see Alexandria and what's happening here. And we had a Atlanta movie tours, and they were talking about stuff. And it was just really cool to be in the biggest time. Like, I wish I went probably a year earlier and had to do all that. And so, but it was still good. Season 6 was still part of the greatest times of The Walking Dead, for sure. I think season 6 is the best season of The Walking Dead. Stranger Things, yeah, I can't wait to see Stranger Things, how they wrap that up. Another show filmed in Georgia. Tim says he would like to see 5 seasons of From. I like it, and Brian, let me. Yeah, no, I don't mind a 5th season, but I just want resolution. Like, I'll take a 5th season. I'll take a 4th and 5th season of it, but I just want some answers. I want more answers than the questions that they kind of do, and the way they left it definitely set up some big stuff for going into season 4, and they finally got some answers with it there too. So we'll have to see. So Solo, if you said you think season 6 is the last season you watched of The Walking Dead, man. Which I don't blame. I mean, you definitely had to watch a little bit of season 7, at least the first episode, to see what happened with the Negan lineup. I mean, season 7 is probably the last full. Or season 6 probably the last full season, but season 7 you had to see some resolution on there too. Ranium Raving Revenge says, I'm pretty sure the creator said season 3 was the middle point of the story, of the From story. So if I guess 5 seasons or even a 6. Yeah, so, hey, I'm not opposed to more From. You know, if we get 4, 5, and 6, and then I'll have to talk about that a little bit. And I hope people get to watch From. Like, I hope more and more people are watching that, because that's like the next big story, mystery kind of thing. And I don't know how well it does because it's on such a different thing of MGM Plus. So most people might not have access to it. I would hope that they would have access to a lot of things going up on, you know, if From was on Netflix, it would be a top 5 show on Netflix. People would be like, this is great, I can't believe it. But it's on such a smaller market of MGM Plus that I don't know how else to spread the word. You know, I guess I'll have to do some more From videos at some point, because From is one of those things where it's a show that I need you to watch. Like, it's a good show that takes you in. Like, yeah, you know, certain things are a little much and it takes a little long for it, but you know, the acting draws you in. The story draws you in. The mystery draws you in. They're not giving us up, too much of information, but I'd rather have them build it up and get some answers, but if they have an idea, as long as they have the seasons marked on there, if they have 5 or 6 seasons and they know how to do this and season 4 and then whatever they're going to do here and then season 5 and then do there and wrap it up for season 6 or 5 or whatever, I'm good. I'm good with that. But I need to have it make sense. I need to have a resolution and be rewarding for us. And that's what I try to think about our book series as well too. So yeah. So, all right, guys. So that's my hour. So again, I'm going to take next Sunday off because of my wife's birthday and everything. So, but I may have a couple weeks where I don't do a stream, but I'm not going to give up. I want you guys to think that I'm still here. And so I may do one talking about Maggie and Negan's Dead City trailer, or I may do a video or something about that too, break it down a little bit, because I just need a little break for the book series to focus on this and that, and I think it'll just be a nice time for it. So I know I definitely won't be here next Sunday, but I'll be posting in the streams, or about the streams, if I'll be doing one or not, about it in the chat that I always post in YouTube. As I'll do a post, because I like to post. I think that's a good way to reach out for everybody too as well. So all right, guys, I appreciate you taking the time, and I'll be back next. Well, I wouldn't say next week, but in the near future, I'll be back for sure. Stay on the lookout for future videos or anything we post. Stay safe, and remember, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Keep working hard no matter what they are. I'll be back in the near future, guys. Stay safe, and I'll